friendliest and most fired up club on the planet. Whoa! Thank you all for being here today. We have got a packed house. It's so great to see everybody. Fantastic. I think we're over what, 32 or so, 33, 33, 50, something like that. In person, so we appreciate that. We've got about 12 or so online. Thank you all for being here. And let's have Paul Salzman lead us in prayer today in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we have a very special guest who will lead us in God Bless America. Paul.
Thank you, Scott. In lieu of our prayer today, let's bow our heads and offer a moment of silence for everyone that served and died for their country. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and die through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
In case you couldn't figure that out, Tim Maddox is back with us today. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Tim. Great to see you. Awesome. Just a few club announcements. If I could have Renee come up, please.
Thank you, President Scott. Just a reminder, next Wednesday, June the 9th, at Brown Wind Funeral Home over on Millbrook Road in Raleigh, John Miller's service will be held at 11 o'clock. I will somehow or other snag that obituary and send it out to you. It has all the details. Very nice write-up on John. Also, moving forward, thinking a little later in the month, June the 29th is our annual installation of new officers banquet, and it's going to be held at Prestonwood this year. We're going to be back there doing our normal thing. It will be the 29th, starting at 6 o'clock. You will be getting an e-bike in the next day or so with all the particulars. So anyway, those two things you can remember. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee, for that. We look forward to the banquet, and anybody and everybody who can make John's service, it would be appreciated, and we look forward to that as well. I want to thank everybody who's paid their fourth quarter invoice. We've got a lot of money that's been paid. We appreciate that. We still have some outstandings for fourth quarter. So if you're not sure whether or not you got that paid, if you could just check to make sure, or if you have any questions, you can always reach Blair. We're trying to clean everything up by the end of this year, so that by the time we roll into the new Rotary year, which will be in 4 weeks? 4 weeks, thanks, Bob. We want to make sure the books are as clean as possible. So I appreciate your help on that. Lastly, we've got our district conference that's scheduled for this Saturday, June 5th. And everybody's received their emails from David Hayden asking for attendance here. I think it's going to be a special event. It's all online, starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. I think it's going to be a great opportunity to learn and certainly pay respects for what we've done so far this year, certainly, but more so looking forward. What's the future look like? And I think we're going to hear a lot of good information about that as well. So I'd encourage you all, it's a Saturday morning, you know, after that's done, you can go out, you know, mow the lawn and get the barbecue ready and all that. But this will start the day right on Saturday. And now, sorry, my son. If I could ask our Sergeant at Arms to take the floor. Ryan Reed.
Oh, so good to be here. So good to be here. I love it. We've got more here today than we did yesterday. Let's see if we can get here more. We'll keep rolling tables out. Folks, if you're online, if you got the backs, come on back. That's all I'm saying. If you've got the backs, come on back to your brothers and sisters here in Rotary. I tell you, I'm sitting here thinking what a glorious weekend we celebrated for those who gave. I'm just not in a fighting mood, Tim. I know, it's just hard to believe. I'm just not in a fighting mood. But if I were in a fighting mood, I'd sit there and say, you left me hanging last week. We got done with the pledge, all of a sudden there's this uncomfortable silence, and I had to say, God, and thank goodness somebody joined me. So you just left me hanging. Oh, so sweet. Yes, left me hanging. I tell you what, folks, it's tough to keep up with this group here on GQ-ness. I'm just saying, Charlie Mann today just continues. He's got the houndstooth jacket. He's got the check basket weave in the shirt and a solid tie. I mean, not everybody can pull that off. I mean, just GQ Charlie. That's all I'm saying right there. But Neil Lagarde, I tell you, with the pane window in the suit, and then he's got the pane in the shirt and a polka dot tie. I mean, just continues to bring it. Darren, again, looking like a banker. I'm just feeling for you on that, brother. Just take the jacket off. I'm just saying, get comfortable here. It's great to see the YMCA present. The Y is open, folks. They want people coming in. We energize those memberships again, right, John? Amen. 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 Bring it back to the Y. Coming back here, you got the back, get to the Y. That's all I can say about that right there. Exactly. And I tell you what, it's been amazing seeing our men, so much facial hair that's growing, but I gotta give credit to this Travis. He has got the most beautiful mane going on right here. I just think of a lion. It's beautiful all the way. I'm jealous. That's all I can say. Just jealous. Beautiful cloth. He's got product. He's got it all going on there. Beautiful. Just love it so much. And then we've got our Rotary polo twins over here. One with blue, one with red. They didn't talk this morning. That's all I would say, folks. They should have texted and said, oh, it was a red day, right, Jim? Yeah. Jim went with that. And it's so good to see consistency, in and out, consistency. Howard and Kristen coming in are our last two back-to-back weeks. I love it. Great consistency. Thank you. Yes. But folks, I will say I'm blessed. My father served in the Marines, went to Vietnam, fought for a year and a half. I was born in Camp Lejeune. He did make it back, but there's so many that pay the ultimate price. So if you're feeling like I'm feeling, if I didn't single you out with some beautiful thing that's about you, look at that hair. I should have said that hair too. I mean, it's David's hair is just beautiful over there, white and flowing. Just it's like George Clooney, just a couple years fast forward right there. If I haven't recognized it, I'm reaching my pocket here. I think one side's got a 5, one's got a 1. I'm going on the 5 side today. That's how I'm feeling today. I'm so thankful for all who have allowed us to gather here today to celebrate and be in our great country. So folks, if you feel the way I feel, thank Neil. Thank you so much. Looking beautiful as always. Paul, as always, thank you. Gentlemen, does anybody have any miracle moments as I walk around as we celebrate this past great weekend? Leon, thank you. Any miracle moments? Anybody? There's got to be some. All right.
Yes. Let me say hello to everybody. It's been almost 15 months since I've seen all the smiles.
Reggie's been lost, he's found.
Good to be back. I did want to attend at least one session with President Snyder in attendance here. So,
Thank you.
Bill?
Yes, I have a miracle moment. My daughter-in-law's stepfather, 8 weeks ago, he's been on a heart transplant list for some time. 8 weeks ago, he got a phone call, and that afternoon he showed up at Duke Hospital. Today, he posted on Facebook, 7 weeks and 2 days later, he has a new heart. He is being released from the hospital. He is ready to resume his work as a pastor of a church in rural Johnston County, and thanking God and thanking everyone for their prayers for his healing. And I've not had much relationship with folks who've had heart transplants, but I don't think they leave the hospital with as much vim and vigor as this gentleman is. And he is excited about the years that God is extending to his life. He'd been living on 19% heart function for 15 years. And he now has a new heart and gives God the glory. And I just wanted to share that to all of you, with all of you.
My bride and I last week were able to go spend 5 days out in Utah. We were able to see our oldest boy and his wife for the first time in a year and a half. We just had a lovely 5 days out there. The weather was great, everything was fine. The 12 hours with a mask on coming back to the plane was less than that.
Gordon, you look lovely, by the way. Love the hat. Just need to say that. Good to see you. Any other miracle moments? Thank you, Brother Scott.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Just a few other quick announcements. Birthdays coming up. Kevin Peach, this is a heads up to you. You have a birthday on June 4th, Kevin. Heads up. All right. Happy birthday to you. Bob Lyerly, June 6th. Happy birthday to you coming up. And Ernie Faulkner, June 7th. Ernie's not here, but happy birthday to you, Ernie, coming up soon. Member anniversaries, Gary Ashworth, 39 years today. Wow. Ron Fitzsimmons, 9 years today. Bob Hatley, 39 years today. So he and Gary were in the same class. That was nice. Sally Shaver is 11 years as of today. Carolyn Wasdell, 6 years today. Awesome. And one more, Steve Zaytu, 33 years today. Big class. Congratulations to everybody. Fantastic. And now we have an opportunity to turn our attention to today's program. Very excited about that. If I could call up David Coulter, host for today's meeting, to introduce our very special guest. David?
Thank you, President Scott. I'm pleased to introduce Jenny Johnson to the group. She is the town clerk for the town of Cary. Been in that position since 2016. Joined the town in 2013. She reports to the town council and is responsible for giving notice of council meetings, preparing agendas, recording council minutes and proceedings, serving as custodian of permanent town records, keeping the town seal, attesting to all town documents, maintaining the town code, managing the citizen advisory boards and commissions, and providing support services to the town council. Now, I'm exhausted just reading. So that is a lot, and she does it very, very well. The position is one of 3 that's hired directly by the council, the others being the town manager, Ben, for example, was, and the town attorney. Jenny earned her bachelor's degree in business administration from Methodist University in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and she's a member of the North Carolina Association of Municipal Clerks Association, and she serves on the membership and legislative committees. Please welcome Jenny today as we learn more about the town's plans for our 150th celebration. Jenny?
Thank you for having me here today. That list makes me tired as well, but I keep going. And they added to my plate this year, and I was happy to take it, was to plan the 150th celebration. So being in Kerry as a clerk, looking back at past minutes and everything that Kerry has evolved from its creation, it felt like a perfect fit to be in charge of this planning this year-long celebration. Before I get started, David did mention the boards and commissions, and I put a handout at your desk, a little flyer if you're interested in volunteering for the town for the boards and commissions. We'd love to have you apply. I just have to get that extra kind of news release in there as well before we kick off about the 150th. So as you know, 2021 celebrates the 150th year, and we had a big year planned. And of course, like many others, The pandemic kind of canceled a lot of our plans, but we have readjusted. We are back at it. We are happy that restrictions have been lifted, that there's possible opportunity to do more. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about what we planned, what's happened already, and how you can get involved in the planning moving forward. Next slide. So of course, it's not just me. I am joined by a great citizen task force, and you'll see a familiar face up there, Travis. He is part of our task force as well. And I'm also backed by a big staff team that helps with the planning. And one of the first things we did was to set our mission statement. And that was the highlight of the mission statement was to honor Cary's past, engage all citizens in the present, and excite people about its future. And so when we were planning the year, we looked through the lens of the past, present, and future, and you'll hear it throughout the meeting, my presentation. Next slide. So 150 years, and I mean, a lot has grown. If a lot of people, you remember when you moved to Cary, what it was like, maybe it was less than 6,000 people, less than 3,000 people, but now we're up to 170,000 people plus, and we are ready to celebrate that. Kind of to help to test your knowledge of Cary's history, I wanted to ask a couple questions, and I have a couple handouts that David's going to pass out as I ask some trivia questions. Who's Cary's founder? Go ahead.
Walter Page.
Close. Go ahead.
He's an abolitionist from Ohio.
Close. I'll give it to her. She's closer. It's Frank Page, which was Walter's father. We were actually named after Samuel Fenton Cary, who was the abolitionist from Ohio. So that's where the Cary namesake comes from. What fruit was once part of the Cary seal? Who said gourds? That was right. There you go.
All right.
So the chamber, that's right. The Chamber of Commerce, they had a seal competition, and somebody wrote in or drew the seal, and it had the gourds in it, giving a nod that we were proclaimed the national gourds capital in 1938. What was Cary's first supermarket that opened in 1950? That's right. Who said Piggly Wiggly? Yep, got it right. A good guess. The next one, Cary's first greenway was the Annie Jones Greenway, opened in 1979. Someone very close to me, she was the town clerk, two clerks before me. Which one of the, let me skip that one, they miswrote that one. How much of Cary's is currently developed? What percentage is currently developed? Who said 87? You were close, it's 85, so we'll give it to you. Who inhabited the area which we call Cary prior to the settlers arriving in 1750? It was a Native American group, but you get points. Tuscaroras. Got that right. I've heard that's an Andy Griffin show where Opie tries to say it as well, so, okay, here. Okay.
Well, the Scout Tuscarora
And this is a fill in a blank. Cary extends into blank number of counties. Who said 3? Like, you can pick who you want to give it to, but that's right, 3. So we currently this year, the council approved an annexation request for Durham County. So now we're in Wake, Durham, and Chatham. So just test your knowledge of Cary's history, and throughout the celebration year, there's plenty of opportunity to learn more about Cary's past, present, and future. Next slide. So everything that we're doing and planning is located on our website, cary150.org. It's the hub of everything Cary 150. Updates will be posted here throughout the year. As I said earlier, many of the things that we had planned, we're having to switch to virtual, or we're having to adjust it for capacity or restriction reasons. And also, this is the place where you want to visit, you want to get involved in the year. You can visit here and learn how to get involved. One way that you can get involved today is to share your story. So we are creating a community scrapbook with everyone's story, or we'd like everyone to participate. That could be your favorite restaurant, why you moved to Cary, your favorite greenway, a memory you have about Cary, what kept you here in Cary. We are highlighting these stories on our social media site and also the webpage. And these stories will be printed and put into our time capsule as well at the end of the year. So future generations can look back on the stories that were shared during this year. And I encourage everyone to get involved. I encourage you to do maybe a Rotary story and talk about the creation of this Rotary and capture that within the time capsule. So we had a big community celebration planned for April, but of course we were all still in very much lockdown or shut down, and we had to transition that to a virtual event. So our virtual celebration is still on our website. I encourage you all to go and see it, especially the showcase video. That video covers, of course, the past, present, and future. It's about 3 minutes long, and we created it so that someone tuning in for the first time or someone who's lived in Cary their whole life, they can tune in and learn something about Cary or be proud of the community they're in. There was also a commemorative concert by the Child Rabbits and His Golden Messenger that we streamed that night that's still available on our website. And then it closes out with a message from our mayor. So that April event that we were planning was going to be a big community event. We transitioned it to July. And then we also decided to make it a little bit longer and more than just a day so that we wouldn't attract the large crowds that may prohibit people from attending. So starting on July 24th, we'll have a downtown community party, food trucks, breweries. They have brewed Cary 150th brew, some of the local downtown ones that they'll have out there. There will be entertainment with bands and performers, and it'll be down Academy Street. We'll close off that road the 24th and also the 31st. At that night, we will have a show to remember. And what that is we have planned a art projection show that will project on the Cary Arts Center. So if you can think about the show that you may have seen at Disney World, we're bringing that same experience to downtown Cary. So that's kind of what it would look like. We've tried to find a building close to the Cary Arts Center. But we also, that week, we're having local bakeries get involved. They're offering 150th either discounts or giveaways, and we'll have bakery bingo. So you can go around to the different bakeries. We're calling it the Sesquicentennial Suite. So we do hope that everybody goes to the website, gets the bingo card, and visits some of our local bakeries. And it will occur over the 2 weekends, and the show will actually run on a loop. So if you missed it the first time and want to come out a little bit later, it'll still be running. Then to kind of close out the year, we'll have a Masquerade 150th Gala at the Embassy Suites. It will play on the tradition of wearing masks. So we hope by then, you know, it's safe to gather inside and wear masks from now the nose up instead of the nose down. It will be themed the past, present, and future. There are sponsorship opportunities available, and I think each of you had at your table some of kind of just a preview of what we would have, a gold table sponsorship. We also will have smaller sponsorships that we're still putting together, but all that will be available on our website. But we'd love to have people in the community represented during the event with those sponsorships. The date's November the 13th. The proceeds from the gala, ticket sales, sponsorships, they will benefit the town associated nonprofit. So our Oasis and our Play It Forward, which we're great that we partner with Dorcas Ministries to administrate those, and looking forward to raising a lot of money for them, because I'm sure with everything in the town being shut down and programming, people haven't had those opportunities to give back or participate. There will be a train car. We're working with a construction, I guess, architect. He's building us a train car that you will actually walk into and have kind of a quiet area, a great place to grab a piece of the birthday cake, some coffee, and sit down and have kind of more of a quiet, so you can have a conversation. But you get to step back into maybe what a train would look like 100 years ago. Everything from dinner to dancing. So we really hope we're having the capacity of 450 people. We think those tickets will go fast because everybody's ready to get back out, get to resuming normal activities, and they want to come out and celebrate the Cary 150. So there's a lot of, those were kind of our bigger initiatives that have occurred throughout the year, or the ones that are you can look forward to in the upcoming months. We also have driving and walking tours available on our website. These were actually led tours by the Friends of the Page Walker. We partnered with them to transition them to ones that you can kind of take on your own, so you can discover Cary at your own pace. It's a great thing there's walking and driving tours. So if you come downtown and want to grab something to eat, you can take a walking tour as well and learn a little bit about Cary's history. There was an art exhibit that was held called We Are Cary. It really highlighted the diversity of Cary. The Green Hope High School students partnered with a local artist to create pictures of people, of just their faces. And it turns out their mask as well when they took these pictures, and collected their stories about why they came to Cary, where they originally were from, and where their families were from. We would have loved to have a tree planting event, but we transitioned that to a tree giveaway, and that sold out in 40 minutes. So if you're familiar with our website and our announcements, it's called My Tree, Our Tree, and it gives you a tree, also the supplies you need to plant the tree, and also puts you in touch with an urban forester to talk about the right ways of planting this in your yard. It comes with a Cary 150th tree stake, so you get to celebrate the year in your yard and represent that you were involved in it. There's a time capsule that's being put together that will be buried in our downtown park. The documentary, we partnered with How Good Tree, a local producer, to create us a documentary, which of course is themed past, present, and future. And then a historic play through the Cary Players and Amazing Place Productions. And they actually went into the community and said, give us the stories that don't show up in the roundabout Cary. Give us the stories nobody's heard of. And so then they'll put those on the stage, and they're writing that screenwrite right now. So each month, our council liaison to the task force is Ed Urha, and he gives a monthly segment. It's usually about 7 minutes, recognizing a moment in Cary's history. So this past month, he focused on Cary's parks and who they're named for. He also has done African American history in Cary, and will continue those up until November. They are located on our website, so if you missed one, or if you wanted to go back and just watch one in particular, they're available at that cary150th.org. So I hope after today's presentation, you share with others that you know about the Cary 150th, that you embrace the Cary 150th year. Some groups are having picnics and they're asking for Cary 150th merchandise to give away. We're happy to partner with you in that aspect, or they're doing something to create their story for the time capsule. I hope that you visit the website to stay up to date. You sign up for the news releases, watch our social media, because that's how we're also getting the word out about the event. And I hope you get involved. So I hope to see every one of your stories in our Share Your Story, and then hopefully we will be able to highlight it on our website. So in closing, I want to thank you for having me here today. Hopefully when you're out doing anything Cary 150, taking the tour, you'll use our hashtag if you're on social, Cary 150th, happy birthday, Cary, and sesquicentennial. So you get extra points if you say and spell that right on the first one, the first try. And I didn't ask Travis, but Travis, do you want to add anything of being part of the task force?
Yeah, it's been it's amazing that we started working on this 3 years ago.
Yeah.
At the time, it's like, this is way far out, we're gonna have all the time, and plan a great event. Obviously we had some pretty big road bumps pop up unexpectedly, but, I think we have planned for the rest of the year, so we get a lot of fun. Especially once things really get open to people being out there and enjoying it. And there's, just like a lot of things online to enjoy, for those who aren't getting out into big crowds just yet. But it's been a fun, interesting experience, and it's nice that it's finally here. We're able to enjoy it in some capacity, whatever that is. Yeah, there's a lot of things I highly recommend going to the website, checking out. So we really did try to develop things for everyone, however you wanted to do it. Families, kids, older folks, and everything. So something for everyone for sure.
Thanks, Travis. Yeah, and if you have a group that would benefit from hearing this presentation or want to do something to Cary 150th theme, we're always open and partner with people in the community, giving the presentation, any way that we can get the word out. Oh, I think that's all I have.
Yeah, looking at Cary visually, now that most of us are paroled and out of our homes and all, if you look around town, there are no signs, banners, nothing. It's a well-kept secret. I mean, I was downtown on the 4321 April 3rd, and there was nothing there. Will there be anything like that out there?
Yeah, so we did.
Besides outdoor events.
We did hold off on a lot of things because we just weren't sure what we were allowed to do with, we were still trying to figure it out. For the July event, there'll be things out in downtown. We plan on doing a lot of sidewalk decals to get the word out as well, and banners, and then those will remain up for the rest of the year. Okay.
You're talking about planting trees. What kind of trees you plant?
They, I'm not aware of the list.
Money trees. Are they oak trees, pine trees?
I know there's a variety of it, and I can get the website to you. But they have different ones, and they're planning another one in the fall. So if you didn't get to sign up or you're not on the wait list from the spring, there's time for it for the fall.
Jenny, there's a question online from Ron Brooks is asking, can you elaborate on the process for submitting items for the time capsule? He's thinking perhaps the club should submit something as the club.
Absolutely. We're still working through that, but we do want it to be community collected. So we are thinking that there'll be a form where you nominate or say what you would like to submit and kind of give the consent, I guess, the okay that you actually have it to submit. It's just not an idea. And then the task force will review those forms and then determine kind of what represents Cary in 2021. We're thinking it would be 2020 as well, just because this was such an odd year. And then we will collect those items.
Just curious, since we're creating a time capsule, are there any to be retrieved from prior?
There is one. There's one from the 100th, and it actually doesn't open for another 50 years. Yeah, so it opens on the 200th anniversary.
Do you know what date that is?
I'm not sure of the date, but we've heard people in the community that come forward saying, I submitted something for that, I remember it. So that's been fun to hear. All right, well, I'm available by email or call the town hall and reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Travis as well, he's probably your go-to 150th guy as well here. So I hope you do take some time to get involved, and thank you for having me.
Kerry, I want to thank you very much for what you do for the town and the 150th anniversary. This is fantastic. And the 150, I think Don Finkbinder was around 150 years ago. We're waiting for 200. But Rotary has been in Cary for 57 years.
Wow.
We have been 57
Amazing.
years. So on behalf of the club, we want to give you some.
Oh,
gift
thank
cards.
you. Oh, Jerry
And
Miller, these are
celebrate
great.
Cary.
Yeah.
Jerry Miller, he's a member.
Great.
And so enjoy. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Great presentation. A lot of excitement building. Cary 150. Man, it's going to be here before we know it. Look forward to it. Family event too. I'm excited about it. Next week.
Yes.
We're very fortunate. Don Finkbeiner is our host for next week. And Don will be bringing on board for next week's meeting, John Payne. And John will be speaking to us about the North Carolina Zoo. We'll be providing updates, answering questions. It's been an eventful year for the zoo as well and for the animals. So we'll hear a little bit more about that next week. And Don, we appreciate you hosting this one.
Glad to do it. Don't bring any animals.
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask, yeah. Okay, all right. That actually, we might want to try that.
We had the hawk.
Yeah, we did it.
It ruined the carpet. You remember?
2 weeks. Another big program, Sal Camerata is going to be bringing Dana Brimstead to speak to us about Visit North Carolina. Important topic to all of us, North Carolina tourism. Obviously, with the doors opening up, becomes more and more important as we look forward. So, Sal, we appreciate that. I know he's out at the beach, hopefully staying away from the rip curls or rip tides. But he's out enjoying himself, and he certainly should be. So we'll see him in 2 weeks. Meals. Anybody recall what I said last week, this week's meal would be?
You said cup salad.
Okay, so I got it right. Okay, good enough. Thank you. It took 11 months. It takes a while for this guy to catch on. Very happy to see that we have the open bar as well, open salad bar. Sorry, open salad. So next week, 6-ounce pork chop. We were looking at the 5 or 6. We elected to go 6 ounces. So we're going 6-ounce pork chop, roasted potatoes, green beans, and gravy of some sort. And then also the salad bar, whichever you choose. So we look forward to that. There'll be a great meal. Again, what a great day. Is this fantastic? I mean, it's taken us a year and a half. I truly appreciate everybody hanging in there. It's been for everybody, regardless of your occupation, etc. It's been a challenging year for this Rotary Club, and for every Rotary Club. It's been the same. But I tell you, we're so fortunate. Why? Because of you all. Because of you all. That's what makes this club what it is, what it's all about, and it helps us provide the greatest impact that we possibly can. And it's easy to check out, and it's easy to, times are rough, etc. Yeah, they are. But I tell you, the foundation of this club, you can tell it goes back 57 years. Is that right? And so we still have several founding members that are part of this club. So it's just from my perspective, from where I sit, I just want to say thank you, because we couldn't have done what we were able to do this year without all your help. And so y'all need to pat yourselves on the back. So thank you very much.
President Scott,
Yes, sir.
in line with our program today and the 150th celebration, my question is, do you know if our Rotary clubs in Cary are having any sort of a part of taking?
I don't know that, but I think it's a great question.
Well, Rotary, I think, was a major part of,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's
maybe the clubs within Cary, the 5 clubs.
Well, I know Bob's got a meeting next week with the assistant governors, and
Okay.
Bob, that might be a topic to broach, because we're with the 5 local area clubs as part of that. And I think the timing could be just about right to sort of team up and see what we can do to bring the Rotary clubs together to benefit the greater good of the Cary community during the 150. Great point. Thank you for that, Don.
You're welcome.
And now, it's really, for me, ending the meetings are, I would rather us be here for another hour and a half or 2 hours, but unfortunately, we're under some certain time constraints. So with that in mind, I'm gonna ask Gail Cabrera to come up and lead us out in the four-way test. Gail?
Hi, y'all. I would just like to say, it is so nice to see everyone in person. Y'all have been on Hollywood Squares where everybody's it's always nice to see everybody. Okay, so the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?